Ladies and gentlemen, friends, dreamers, and warriors of financial freedom, today I want to tell you a story, not just about money, but about mindset, about two fathers, two lives, two very different views of the world. This is the story of Rich Dad versus Poor Dad, a book by Robert Kiyosaki that didn't just inform, it transformed. This is not just a financial book, it's a wake-up call. It opens your eyes to a reality most people never question, a reality we've been taught since childhood, a reality that whispers, go to school, get good grades, find a job, and work hard for the rest of your life. But let me ask you, what if that formula doesn't lead to freedom? What if that path leads to a life of limitations, not possibilities? Robert Kiyosaki had two dads. One was his biological father, the poor dad, well-educated, hard-working, honest, and sincere. He did everything society told him to do. He had degrees, he had a job, but he also had debt. He worked hard, but he struggled financially all his life. The other was his friend's father, his rich dad. He didn't finish school. He didn't have formal education, but he had street smarts. He understood money. He understood wealth, and most importantly, he understood freedom. Two dads, two mindsets, one life-changing lesson. Poor dad believed the love of money is the root of all evil. Rich dad taught the lack of money is the root of all evil. Poor dad said, go to school so you can find a good job. Rich dad said, go to school, but never stop learning about money. Learn how to create jobs. Poor dad worked for money. Rich dad made money work for him. My friends, this is not just a difference in words. This is the very foundation of your future, because the most powerful asset you have is not your job, not your savings, not your house. The most powerful asset you have is your mind. If you train it well, you will create abundance. If you don't, you will always be a servant to the system. Let me break this down in a way that hits home. We've been taught to avoid risk, to fear failure, to follow the herd. But Rich Dad says failure is not something to fear, it's something to learn from. Every rich person you've ever admired failed at some point. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, they failed. But they didn't stop, because failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. The poor dad said, I can't afford it. The rich dad said, how can I afford it? One shuts down the mind, the other opens it. One kills creativity, the other fuels it. It's not about having money, it's about learning how to think like someone who does. Let's talk about assets and liabilities. Rich Dad teaches this fundamental truth. If you want to be rich, focus on building assets. Most people think their house is an asset. But if it's taking money out of your pocket every month, it's a liability. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes it out. This is the difference between being stuck in a cycle and stepping into financial freedom. You see, the poor and middle class work for money. They trade time for income. But time is limited. There are only 24 hours in a day. So your income stays limited too. But the rich, they build systems. They invest in assets, real estate, stocks, businesses, intellectual property. They create streams of income that flow whether they're awake or asleep. That is financial freedom. Not just having money, but having time. And that, my friends, is the ultimate wealth. So what does this mean for you? It means you have a choice. You can follow the traditional path, work for 40 years, retire on a pension, if it still exists, and hope for the best. Or you can step off that treadmill and build a different life. You don't need to be born into wealth. You don't need a genius IQ. What you need is the willingness to learn, to unlearn, and to take control of your own destiny. Kiyosaki didn't say school is bad. He said traditional education teaches you how to be a good employee, but not how to be financially free. That education teaches you how to pass tests, but not how to handle taxes, debt, or investments. If you want true success, you need financial education. You need to understand money, how it works, how it grows, and how it can work for you. So many people today are stuck in a rat race. Wake up, go to work, pay bills, repeat. They make more money, and yet they still struggle. Why? Because they don't know the difference between making money and building wealth. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep and what you do with it. You can earn a high salary and still be broke, or you can earn modestly and become financially free if you build the right habits and mindset. So start asking yourself the real questions. Am I buying assets or liabilities? Am I working for money or building something that can grow? Am I letting fear hold me back from taking the first step? Because here's the truth. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for more money or more time or more knowledge. Start where you are with what you have. Read, learn, invest, try, fail, learn again, build, repeat. Because wealth is not a finish line. It's a mindset. It's a journey. And the journey starts with one decision: to take responsibility for your own future. Don't hand over your life to a paycheck. Don't trade your dreams for a salary. Don't let fear of risk keep you trapped. Instead, choose growth, choose learning, choose the mindset of Rich Dad. You might not come from wealth, but you can create it. You might not be a financial expert, but you can become one. You might not see the full picture now, but step by step, it will unfold. Because wealth is not reserved for the few. It's created by those who believe they can and act on it. So stand tall today. Look in the mirror and say, I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am the creator of my future.